Now on BBC Radio 4, it's time for You and Yours with Winifred Robinson.
Hello, welcome to Radio 4's consumer programme. Today, the homeowners facing high repair costs after buying flats under right to buy.
I'm quite aware that I should be paying towards the upkeep of the building, but it has been left in such a state of disrepair that I feel that the amount that they're now asking for wouldn't have been as much had the work been carried out sooner, or had they fulfilled their part of the lease.
The underwear company criticised for the way it sells. We look at high-pressure marketing. And would you be put off by these business names?
We've got one called Tank Top Man, Gromit's van is called Top Man, a few bookshops, one called Page Turner, and another cafe called Cafe Pacific.
The business titles with puns in them, do they make you grin or groan? We'd like to hear your favourite and least favourite puns. The comedian Neil Nelson will be picking his favourites from your suggestions. So business titles with puns in them, please. Email you and yours at bbc.co.uk. On social media, use the hashtag you and yours, or you can send us a text message to 84844. We reported on financial abuse here on You and Yours, where people have discovered their parents are being fleeced by siblings or carers who've been trusted to manage their accounts. And today, Citizens Advice is drawing attention to financial abuse by partners in relationships. In March, we heard from a woman called Sally about what happened to her.
I actually got a small loan for my mother's funeral. Me and my husband did get credit cards after that, but he was spending on them. I got them for emergencies, and then I later found out he was spending a lot on the internet, on eBay, and I was so worried about the interest on the credit cards. I started to get loans from the bank because it was a lot cheaper, and that's when it really escalated. He did have a few credit cards of his own, and there was a few occasions I found out he'd spent £7,000 quite a few times, and I was just so worried about all this interest. So it made me go and get a bank loan, and he couldn't get any credit. So it was all in my name. It come to a head in 2006 that they were all up again, and I got this last loan, and when I went to sign the loan, I was no. And my husband told me if I didn't sign it, that would be it, that, you know, the credit would go, we'd lose the house. So I was panicking about losing the house and the children, where we're going to live, and I just signed it, and that was it. But in 2008 I did try and leave the relationship, but once I left, I did find bills. I was getting all these bills. I was trying to pay for my rented accommodation from leaving him. I was working 4 jobs. It was just so hard. I ended up going back to the marital home.
And I mean, the term financial abuse is used. Do you regard it as abuse?
Yes, it is abuse. It's abuse. I mean, I was left to make myself bankrupt.
I was starting talking to Peter White a couple of months ago. Well, Gillian Guy is the Chief Executive of the Citizens Advice Bureau. As I say, they are trying to draw attention to financial abuse by partners in relationships with some research they're publishing today. Gillian, welcome to You and Yours. Do you see a lot of cases like this where the relationship ends but one person is left with all the debt?
We do unfortunately see a lot of cases. 9 out of 10 of our domestic abuse advisors have helped someone with some form of financial abuse. And it can be things like forcing to take credit, such as the case that you've just been through. There's also actually stealing from joint accounts, really seriously controlling partners' access to income or savings or the bank account itself, and very often leaving a single person to pay joint bills that have been run up.
Your research today looks at how much understanding there is of financial abuse, and it suggests that some people who are exploiting other people in this way, they think they're doing nothing wrong.
There is an issue here about awareness, not just in society broadly, but also with institutions who, for example, control the kind of bank access that we have, the savings access that we have. We found in this survey that we're publishing today that 6 out of 10 of the 2,000 people questioned weren't really aware that domestic abuse can include financial matters, and 4 out of 10 weren't aware that making a partner account for every penny they spent can actually constitute that kind of abuse and misuse and control of a relationship.
So are you suggesting that people who work in banks and in companies giving loans should be more aware of it?
we're trying to raise awareness throughout and also give confidence to people who are subject to this abuse to really name it as such and try and get support and help outside of the relationship, and also to help families give that support as well. And that does include other institutions such as local authorities and banks and ourselves. We are as well trying to identify when people might be in this situation and offer support.
Isn't the problem though exactly what we heard with Sally, that she's in a sense trying to rescue the relationship, keep it all afloat, keep the house, keep the roof over the children's head? The realisation that you've been unfairly treated only comes later when it's all over.
Well, I think this is part of the problem, that it's seen as norms of behaviour that people have to deal with themselves. And what we want to do is raise awareness to say that that kind of manipulation, that kind of control is not acceptable, and that people are really taking advantage of having an intimate relationship, and it fundamentally amounts to abuse and indeed to criminal activity very often.
Gillian Guy from Citizens Advice, thank you for listening to You and Yours Radio 4's Consumer Programme. It's 22 minutes past 12 now. Now,
you will always find him in the kitchen at parties. You will always find him in the kitchen at parties.
that was the music used by IKEA in their ads last year, featuring a brand new range of kitchens. The website says there are 4 steps to buying an IKEA kitchen. 1. Measure. 2. Dream and plan. 3. Order. And 4. Install. Presumably 5 is get on with the rest of your life. And you and yours listener John Bedall would really like to do that. He lives in Yeovil and he ordered a new kitchen from IKEA back in December for about £6,000. It came in January as promised, but
one of the parts of the kitchen worktop was too big.
that was a problem with step 1 then, the measuring stage. Never mind, 6 weeks on, a replacement arrives.
5 people were sent to fit it. It's a white worktop, I hasten to add, and they didn't manage to get the joints together. They were showing up black, which is not as you want.
So 2 worktops down, you keeping count, and a few weeks later, another one turned up.
Chaps came from Bristol area to fit 2 of them. By the way, our worktops are matte to match the wall units, only to find when they opened up the packaging, they were gloss.
Getting the idea. 5 months on from ordering this kitchen, John is onto his 5th worktop and it still isn't the right one. No solution yet. And then there's another You and Yours listener, Angela Bailey. She lives in Bourne in Lincolnshire and she ordered a new IKEA kitchen in November last year.
It's kitchen and utility room, so it included fridge.
Unable to connect to a network. Check your network settings and try again.